Hello everyone, my name is Mitz, and here we're back with Birth Me Code. We finished down the route where we, killed off Ira and he killed, well actually no, we killed off Serbia, and Ira went all crazy and shot us, and suddenly everyone thought he was dead and came back to life again. We have to go down that way and, hack Gula's helmet, as I said, and I was checking this out to make sure everything's alright, and, there's a key here. One of the locks... Oh, I've forgotten entirely what are the choices here. I know one was Averita. Is this Gula's? I don't think I've done Averita's. Oh, we did do Averita's helmet. Oh, I forgot. Okay, I'm losing my memory about that. So we're gonna go all the way up here. How was it? I have to put my trust in with Ira and then Gula, to make sure I go down up this way. Still haven't seen this one, which I can only assume is when you don't focus on either Ira or Luxuria. Maybe I'll check that out afterwards. Just want to show off the flowchart as it goes. Multiple choice, go talk the video first. There's not much over here to do. I don't think I've seen one hacking Nvidia's helmet over this way. And we couldn't hack his helmet because he apparently died, but I wonder if we have more trust with him he doesn't die or not? That's the only choice we don't have to do that. Actually, no, split. Oh, actually. It's like the anagram's likely something else. Oh, well, I'm just gonna keep going through this. So, Ira. On the second trust, we go with Gula, since I think this is Gula's helmet, so we have to go with that. And here, we went to help Ira. And make sure everything's hooked up with Ira. And if it has enough percentages in one person with the right correct route, it'll lock you into one of these. Then hang on to this. We agree with the rest. And then we go with Luxuriant Serbia, because the other route kills us off immediately. Then I think this is the choice where I'm actually I don't remember what choice was this again. Let's see. Lux. You're sure excited with that? So, I'm actually curious about, exactly how Lux suddenly, I guess, she was going after Bia, well, after, doing a whole loopy around, hey, vote for me! How would we, no, we can't vote for you! Okay, sure, let's vote for Bia! Wait, what? Did we just drag her to shotgun and everyone votes for me instead? But it doesn't seem like because Serbia was, so shocked about it. I can't tell just, she was shocked of, this whole loop around manipulation thing, and she did the portraits thing even here, too. Or it's more of Luxuria's, very big, manipulation with the portraits. So both Serbia and Luxuria, both, boy. Oh yeah, Triff. Not really, thinking about epiphanies. You know what epiphany is, right? This is the choice where we, hear him out, or, we don't. So, We pressed it for details last time, but didn't change anything exactly. Oh yeah, it increases our trust with her then. So is there really a way, increase, I doubt it, but I don't think you can, kill someone off another vote. We killed Luxuria off in the first vote, we're going on the other route, and I doubt you can kill them off again later on. Unless the flowchart hiding more or something. I was just thinking the whole time. So, I think that was Gula's helmet was locked, so let's go over to that. Which letter do you like the most? This question. I doubt it makes sense. Well, it not makes sense, but it doesn't really matter in the scheme of things. And then we got it wrong, and we just swapped keys immediately. It shows the I key first, the G. What key did we have? We had the... I completely glossed over it the first time. Let's go with the A key. I think I like the A key the most. See how the T just looks like their real key? It's only subtly the A key. Interesting. I want to trade you my A key for a G key. In fact, that's quite a coincidence, because it's an A key like Ancora. Oh, will you trade it to me? That would be kind of neat. Sure, that's why I brought it up. The key must go to... Wait, if we said that we had, if we liked the G key, does that mean that we would have kept him or wanted he would stay alive? Maybe. I have to go back to the choices after I go to the helmets. It was inside that they would trade the keys, yeah. And Cora gave her G key away to NVIDIA while he gave her his A key. So, if it's cool as somebody's a hack, then probably go down her route. So, just haven't seen much of anything else going on so far. So what happens when we go down Gula's route with the helmets? So, mid-ear avionics. The choice is already unlocked, and the flowchart doesn't really exactly matter, so it's not an anagram. It sounds like the name of a company. I'm just curious, like, why that name's there if we basically lock down everything, so why are we talking about this? What mid-air avionics to do with anything? So I don't recall ever hearing something like that. So why is this here exactly? It's weird. It's a prank. Someone staked in here and put this up as a joke. The place has been a complete lockdown for a while. This apostle has nothing to do with anything. Mid-air avionics. I gotta commit the memory then. Mid-air avionics. It's a good place to spy on other people as it can be. No one's gonna stumble into here. The question is, who's available for hacking? It'll depend on the frequencies of the current space flared. So, yeah. Well, can we get to Gula's? I bet NVIDIA's still gone. I had no idea why someone's centering the A key from the G key. I doubt it. They were just gonna scream when NVIDIA's helmet was hacked. Bingo. Not even a puzzle this time. Wait, this thing's wrong. Why would there not be puzzle this time? Yeah, he's dead again. It's more important now. First, inform me that someone in your group has left the boundaries of the game. Yeah, almost actually the same. So if we kept with the, if we decided to like the G key, we would keep it as that. Although I completely doubt it'll be happening. Then the screens came back to normal. Of course, shuddered. Well, I know who surrendered died to live. It's clean NVIDIA. Well, this is the same like thoughts and feelings we had as well. But what was it? Like, apparently people thought Ira was dead and he's back to life and with the gun. Like, you know, he took the bullets from Serbia's shoes and, like, took it off our unconscious body. So, like, left us for dead, grabbed the gun, and somehow people mistook he was dead and came to again and just started hunting everyone down? What just hunted me and Averita down when she was waking us up? She had a thing to tell us from Viddy. She couldn't hear. Huh. Right now I need to hack someone, especially because tensions are at an all-time high to someone's running around to live. I think it was... Yeah, I think we didn't hack we hacked Sir B's helmet, but what about Gula's? Oh boy. And here we go. Oh boy, I'm definitely not going to be good with this puzzle then if the last one's going to be anything. Order by table. Order by table. What kind of table? Focus by pink. Table. Table. An order by table? Like the periodic table? Like these focus on different maybe symbols of the periodic table? Although I don't exactly recognize Y being a symbol on there. Unless we combine the letters to make one element? Maybe? Why don't we look that up then? If this is the periodic table then, is it ordered by the numbers I see? Well, letters. Oh boy, it's gonna take a while then. I guess it'd be better if I organized by alphabeticals, just so I have like all the letters in hand. C. So B, C, F, I, K, L, M, NOPQRSTUV. So that's all in alphabetical order, just to make things easier. For first is B, C. Then the next one after, like, that's carbon. The next to carbon, like on these letters, is oxygen. Then F. I'm assuming these are all single letters on the periodic table. I think it's going down from like the atomic element numbers. Like oxygen, like hydrogen is 1, and down to the very bottom. So B, C, O, F, P. O, F. P, S. I think after S, piece on the table is K. Then after that would be V, but it's not on here. Y. Then I. Then next would be actually, wouldn't N be nitrogen? What does that be? Oh, BCN. Oh boy, this could be great. U. Then iodine. Then after that is U, which I assume is uranium. This is not periodic table, and I wonder what it is. Oh, okay, then I was right then. Oh boy. Can I imagine how hard it would be if like someone didn't know, like, remembers the periodic table? I just looked it up just to organize it by that. I don't know if that's exactly cheating or not. Well, I don't. This reminds me of the whole thing where against, like, what was it? Chemistry. That you have to remember the whole periodic table at some point for some reason. Maybe with Tristia. Earlier, I could not help but ascertain your fascination with more deadly elements in life. I have to get my head on. Oh yeah, like all the, like, hold on a second. Well, I can't see behind him, but all the different helmets, the shotguns, have different symbols. Like, you don't go with that. Your helmet symbol doesn't go with that. So, like, obviously these, like the column, it says, like, the different names correspond to, like, the different helmet strategies. So I'm wondering why they didn't go with, they went with the portraits of the names. Or the portraits themselves are, like, you know, it's used for the mastermind's own gain. That would actually make the most sense. Although it didn't sound like it was meant to be intended purpose. Although since, like, there's a mechanic to get remove the shotgun even though it's not loaded, and uses a blunt weapon. Also, it's a gun there. I guess, like, there's other ways to do that. Although, still curious as to why the mastermind would want to kill themselves off. Like, put us almost so much danger. That I guess they'll, like, get answer the traitor thing. Ghoul and Tristia were sitting together onto some benches in the crossroads. After a few more seconds of this awkward silence, Ghoul had finally broken it, prompting Tristia to reply, suddenly interested. So what do you make of that? You seem to have spent a lot of time thinking over before confronting me on that. I'm still wondering exactly why, like, some of the hacking, like, the helmets, like, decided not to go well. Something now, like, we have, like, Serbia's, like, this whole, I think this helmet only unlocked because we unlocked Serbia's, like, death to be voted for in the other one. So how does it unlocks for this? The visions. So what do you make of that? You seem to have spent a lot more time thinking about it before confronting me on that. Well, to be completely honest, I'm entirely unable to understand your macro-bay interest on the subject of eternal darkness. Oh wait, wasn't this like he was talking about like oh, I have to remember this. I think this was the first vote he was talking about like the rights of the dead, I think. Like I don't remember exactly. Just he was going to answer, but the last moment he stood up. Following him, Gula did much of the same. The two of them began walking around the console with no clear goal in particular. I'm not gonna lie, I don't know. This weird interest of mine, I don't know where it's from. I guess a part of me is just unable to stop thinking about life and death. While Tatia was talking, Gula wandered around, looking at the equipment. Looking at the portraits. Now that there was no cylinder covering any of it, she should examine it without any issues. Ever wondered what happens to you after you die? Perhaps, perhaps not. I think it's just like more internal darkness. I think you mentioned that. Tristia mentioned that. I just it won't truly be my concern once I reach that outcome. Yeah. I don't mean just about yourself. The world's a strange place, and so much of it is weird. What if our deaths affected it way more than we originally thought? Yeah, unless we have like a whole, like, just a, a spreadsheet to figure out how many lives you touched, how many people you helped, how many people you destroyed and damaged. I guess we're just gonna be living in blissful ignorance. But the whole thing, like, even the smallest thing, like even talking to someone, like, could, like, make their day or break it. That kind of weird thing. I'm afraid you lost me. Gul was tampering with the portraits in one of the machines. When she spoke with Trisatia, her hands were busying themselves, choosing the Averia portrait with her own. Oh, she figured out that she could change the portraits, didn't she? No, wait. She was doing it on her own right off the bat. So almost like I told her, but who? Luxuria? Trisatia was too focused on the semi-monologue to notice what she was doing. He had stopped walking, and he was staring off to a metaphorical abyss, just looking off into the deepest corners of the room. Okay, I see a monster demonic head coming out from that shadow. What is consciousness? Oh boy, we're going to this in the middle of the game. Well, I guess, like, we're time to, like, think to ourselves. What determines that I am something that sees and thinks? Are my thoughts not just a product of my experiences based on pattern recognition? I think it's mostly like if, like, when you're born in a specific environment, like, you know, what country you're born in, town, city, street. It basically just changes, like, your perception and beliefs and imaginary stuff. And why do you think there's, like, so many different religions and, like, different cultures? Because it's all tailored from the environment first off, and then people, like, build off of it continuously until basically everyone was just, like, living off their own in isolation until, like, mass transportation, like boats, planes, cars, like, etc. and all that, and we just suddenly realized how different cultures were. It's all about, like, where we grew in environments, but content itself. What determines that I'm something that sees and thinks? I guess your brain would think of a higher power, then that's gonna be hard, like a force of nature kind of thing. Well, my thoughts just not just the byproduct of my experiences based on pattern recognition. It's not a question that can really be answered. I think life's strange. Do we exist because the world lets exist? Or does the world exist because we let it exist? I think at this point it's just like the world just exists just because. Like, hey, just poops in existence, like, just like, yeah, I want to be here. You all guys can just be here too, okay? Just living in just mild contentment. Just been born into the world, just wandering about, just like, I'll do this to be happy. Unless some people, like, want a bigger purpose in life, but, well, I guess I do too. That's a very heavy subject, and, like, there's no clear answer for anything. Because, yeah, there's always gonna be beliefs, and that, like, contradict each other. Facts and opinions, science, religion, yay. There are a few different schools of philosophy in the subject of reality. I now start taking those classes. And the whole thing, like, I've learned about. I guess the one thing I will say observed from those classes was, like, the meaning of life, like, meaning for, like, happiness, freedom, just happiness with, like, for God, all those different things. If the world exists because we can see it, that doesn't it stand that once we die, it stops existing? From your perspective, yes. A moment of tension, Gula shrugged before pointing over to the empty spot that once housed Ira's body. The irate entity which once resided in that very location has obtained the status of deceased. I consider them as alive as you and I, and also that ninth person which was there in that room with you in a Luxuria. Do their perspective matter? Does yours matter? Does mine matter? It's mostly at this point, like, there's literally no moral high ground. No individual person's perspective matters. It's almost like it only matters when it's like in conjoined with other things. Like conjoined with like another person's like beliefs, so they combine with their own, like they work off each other, or like there's evidence like that helps with your perspective. Like I even know like like there's so many pieces of stories and fiction out there. Like even the ones that are most like, I guess you could even say like has the best writing, the baddest writing, bad gameplay, bad cinematography, or anything like that. There's always gonna be someone out there who's just like, yeah, that's a completely absolute shit, and there's gonna be someone else who's like, oh, but that was amazing. Like no matter what anyone does, there's always gonna be that one person who just goes against it, or at least I'm gonna assume like half the world like goes against it. So really, your perspective by yourself doesn't really matter. But when it gets conjoined with someone else, like you actively seek a perspective out or not, that's what makes it matter. Who actually is the important life here? Technically, there's really no important life. Like this whole voting sessions are basically just like just choosing who's the least, like whose life doesn't matter the most. Is there even an important life, or does the perception of reality constitute only a baseline element, and none of us actually matter? City aside, hunching himself to a new monologue while Gula was busy with the consoles. You can certainly think about a lot of deep stuff. But I don't know if exactly how I can take all that more seriously just from what I've seen from other ones. Well, As the horse mask once spoke, the two of them moved around the room again, switching from console to console. Is she changing all of them to manipulate the vote? Take a video game, for example. If we humans have created video games based on systems that can only exist in reality, then life isn't so different. Yeah. Well, in a way. If we die in a video game, we start back at the beginning. When we die then, does life restart? Do we start right from the very beginning, a complete hardcore difficulty, or we just go back to checkpoints? I can't even think there's nothing after life. I don't believe in any heaven or hell, but there can't be nothing. How do you feel nothing? How do you see nothing? How is it possible to not perceive exactly? I mean, I guess we can technically perceive absolutely nothing, like before we were born, so why can't we perceive absolutely nothing after we die? These concepts are so alien to me, to you, to all of us who are still alive, in fact. I suppose you are not wrong on some level, but determining which elements are falsehoods and derisions while ascertaining the truth will prove to be more difficult than you can ever imagine. Yeah, it's like, even when people, like, continue to go enter the truth in the whole entire world, there's always gonna be roadblocks and bumps. It's been, like, centuries, like, absolute several gosh dang centuries, like, new innovations in that, and we still haven't figured out entirely exactly everything's going on. Was because there's actually no real point in the world, or, like, we don't have the knowledge, or, like, the means or equipment to understand or see it. That's the big question there. Until then, we're just left to our own devices until someone has this big eureka moment, or that changes everything. A new perspective. Gula was clearly not paying too much attention, considering the flowery vocabulary she used as part of her nodal pattern, which is vague enough. Derisions. I'm interested to notice after a moment. At least it wouldn't kill you to listen to what I'm saying, Gula. Even if you don't believe in any of it, I think it's important to have different opinions on existence. Very well, in that case. What I believe is that time is a river, always flowing towards the same side. Such existence renews itself upon someone specific ceasing their biological activities is preposterous. Can I imagine if, like, every single time someone dies, like, someone goes back to the very beginning? If time is only just one stream and nothing else, then every time someone dies and they go back, if that's how it goes, then that's not gonna go well. So I can only see, like, the river's, like, so many different branching paths. It's also going on to the whole multiverse theory, but if you go back in time to, like, when you're born, and, like, like, let's say someone dies at, like, 50 years old and goes all the way back to when they were born, like, same time period they were born, like, nothing changed, they're still waking up, same family, same environment, but they retained all their knowledge. Like, that would mean, like, so many different things change. Like, if, like, they completely take that knowledge to heart with what they say, they can, like, go to the stock market and make their family rich and that, or, like, take their knowledge and, like, they pass school so fast. That would catch a lot of people's attention and change, like, hey, look at this child, he or she is just Just a genius. Look at that. We should study them, or that sort of thing. I'm just gonna change the river no matter what. Maybe in the smallest of ways, but still. Such an existence and agrees itself upon someone's specific ceasing your biological activities is preposterous. Then how do you explain existence? You just can't. Why are we all even here? We just are. All this can affect how the flow goes. Yeah. Gula remained silent. At this point, she didn't fiddle with the concepts anymore. Maybe her attention had been taken by being directly involved in the speech this time. Nobody can answer that question, and nobody can, and probably never will. Well, if it is going to be true, I can only imagine it's going to happen after, basically, this generation's lifetime, after my lifetime. I can imagine, like, that question's going to be answered after everyone's dead and gone, like, years, centuries into the future. Never found out at all. Those kind of questions are pretty cool. Like, very deep. This is all just a hypothesis, but if I had to guess, someone on the planet has the ability to keep the universe rolling. So, like, just someone, some immortal being, or, like, someone, like, just making everyone going, like, I guess you're, like, the word you're going for is God. The rest, they're all just non-playable characters, or NPCs. They exist, they think, they act, they're just programming. They don't actually exist. All this is a worrying thought. I mean, if you're the only real person in the world, then I guess that whole leads to the whole, like, destructive idea of, hey, nothing matters in this world, so who cares about everything? That whole thing. Like, even if things are completely a lie or things are completely truth, depends on, like, how you think about things, perspective, and all that. And if people are fake or real, like personas or not, masks, I guess, like, they still matter. Based on the sordid thought, you have much higher chances of being an entity without free will, as the odds are not playing in your favor. I guess in this case, well, maybe not in this case, but it seems like no one really exactly has any free will, except, I guess, Pandora, since she has the power here, and maybe the traitor. But although they're going through these several times, the traitor hasn't revealed himself once, so, like, nothing subtly changed. Look, I imagine the traitor has the exact same almost weird power where things, like, subtly change over time to make the development, like, almost, like, subtly different, and people probably pick it up quicker. Exactly that. Exactly that. After a short silence, Tristia turned around and began walking towards the meeting spot. Ghoul only took a few moments before deciding to follow after him. Another subject, who shall we be casting our ballot for? That's for the group to decide. This time, we're not pressed for time at all, so we can easily think about it. Some of the other 5 voters will possibly organize themselves in a similar way. I'm wondering if we have enough to, like, get rid of the Gula right now, though. Yes, I've already thought about it. To manipulate the votes, even if everyone was against it, or maybe some of them lied, either way it's dangerous. Tristia scratched the back of his head, seemingly worried. I believe it originally was Lux's idea. Trist, we should vote for her this time. We'll see, but I do take this into consideration. Okay, that's enough information. Time's ticking. The feed cut at that moment, restoring the vision to Course Helmet. So, Luxuria gave her ideas for that, with the portraits then. Well, Serbia and Luxuria. Serbia, like, Luxuria took the portraits idea here, instead of Serbia in the other timeline. So let's see if anything changed. So we have, like, Max with Gula, and after this I guess we go with Rita then, with 99%. All choices lead to that. Yes, it's my idea. Please don't feel bad for me. I already went through this before and it didn't really work, so, oh boy. Guess it'll have to be 99%. The group had been in a heated debate over who'd be next to top the block. Luxuria apparently was making her known her idea for the others to vote for her. Ghoul was supporting her choice, but Tristia wasn't in agreement with it. Avery was staying on the sidelines. So since it seems like almost everyone... Unless there was more portraits being swapped, which we didn't see, we only saw, like, Lux and Averita's, then Does that mean that they swapped ours, or like did literally they just talk to everyone and doing this whole stupid act to like make us think that nothing's wrong? Well, exactly what's the point in that, really? If I'm since like Serbia was going all crazy after like everyone realized she was gonna vote for her, and they forced her into that, and then everyone voted for us for some reason. So it doesn't really matter exactly like who comes out. So why trick us like that? It's strange. A few trusted better targets. What's going on? What's like somebody voted out? Here was some murder. Oh, the selfish routine. Of course, this is the vote they all have. Of course, you get a me card. Will it change when we get, like, before the vote happens, or do we just, like, cut everyone off the second we get into the shotguns? I feel like we're ready to vote again, not again. We can vote now, and I don't want anyone to die again, but we're 5 minutes past the 3rd hour, and how many meat cards do we have? 16 or something? One's gone with Viddy. We need a plan. Okay. Electricity caused a ripple panic spread across the group, and Core found a nice way to remind everyone of their current predicament. So, do we just bring up the fact that Gulo's doing some shady stuff here? Just vote for me. It just vote, let's get over with. No, it's wrong. This is all wrong. Don't vote for Lux. There we go. Which is all changed around. Okay then, changed here. They need to be convinced of that fact. It's all changed here. We had to get 99%. I have no idea why, but I feel like this isn't correct. It's not the way to go. But I'm willing to go. That is correct. It is our designated plan for the time being. Unless you propose a change, which would be ludicrous at this stage of our debate. Igor shook her head before walking over to the console. But look, it's the same. We can't vote for Lux right now. I concur. But you've been the biggest pain in the ass at the start, and with what Iron told us, you don't exactly look like an angel. But due to this involvement, I think you're more than just a prissy bunny girl. I think you're a decent candidate for the master behind all this. No fucking way! I'm not voting for myself. Are you out of your goddamn mind? I was your accomplice. He felt guilty, so he sacrificed himself to atone. The only people who wish to do everything we've seen here, all these replicated rooms, the lockdown of the school, that's you, Serbia. Yeah, that actually makes sense, but then if we don't have the money for it, then exactly how we do this. We just did this in our free time? So, like, find the traitor really does matter, which adds more, like, exactly why we're trying to trade her anyway. You're the mastermind, aren't you? No way, that's not me. It can't be me. I'm not rich. Her words caught Trustee by surprise. My parents are rich, but I ain't touching a single bit of that goddamn money until they pass away. As far as I remember, they are very well alive and healthy. I can't have made this whole shit here, not any more than anyone else. Oh yeah. I very much doubt that statement. That's not what it meant, anyway. It's good that those doubts were dispelled. What it meant was, look at the consoles. Oh, did they really change? Oh, that's a cool idea. It was a cool idea, a detail if it does change around with the votes. Push the consoles looked up upon them, the portraits and the buttons. After a few moments of consideration of humor and Cora, Serbia shrugged nonchalantly. What's so different? She's right. Something's off, I think. Gula made an exaggerated motion with her hands to catch up with attention. There is nothing different. You were all being misled by this little girl. I think she wants to buy some time for herself for some reason. So let her cloud your judgment. Wait a second. We can at least take a minute to hear what Trustee has to say. We have plenty of time to discussion, so we should make use of its fullest. And what do you mean, like, we're stopping... Like, she's stopping to make us... Hold on. Being misled by this little girl. Why do you suddenly care about this? Like, I guess what makes sense about, like, Serbia doing the whole thing, like, to stall for time so usually get voted off. But us? What do you... That's weird. Like, even though we already know that's suspicious. For everyone else, right? We can at least take a minute to hear Trustee. Yeah, I already said that. And Gula's speeches referred to her less flowery words, huh? I think she does that when she gets stressed out, which means she's walking on a tightrope. I think some portraits are switched now that I have a proper look at them. I'm not sure, though. It could be the misinformation effect. Maybe I only started seeing it during Cora mentioned it. The ones that were switched were, I think, they're B's and Cora's? Huh? What does that mean? Cora, explain yourself right now. You want to get me voted out by having people want to vote you dead, isn't that it? I wouldn't do that. Why would I change them and bring attention to it? Does anyone remember what the layout looked like? What do you mean by that? Well, so they explained like herbivores, carnivores, and omnivores. If 2 portraits are swept, maybe they weren't the only ones. Is there a portrait that's in a different spot on every console now? I don't think so. Further examination showed that all the consoles did have their portraits in the same spot. So it's not an attempt at manipulation of a group to vote for someone. The other would vote for someone else, and all votes would end up pointing to the same person. No, wait, no. This thing isn't added up. There's more that was switched. I'm only convinced. I don't know why, but I'm convinced of that. If we do this, does that mean everyone's going to point to, like, suddenly us realize... Everyone is thinking that we did it for some reason. Like we're the master because we have so much information on hand. Because I saw it, of course. It's going to be very hard to get them to buy it, I'm aware. And also, before that, earlier when Ira died, I had this weird vision too. I was talking to him, and he... No, wait, I wasn't talking to him. It was like I was someone else talking to him. I don't know why I have these visions. You not mentioned a vision in this branch at all. I remember the consoles, the ports being switched. 3 others were switched too. Which ones? You aren't making any sense. What in God's name are you talking about? Vision this, vision that, the porters being switched? This is fucking insane. The rest of the group's watched, a little uneasy by the exchange. I don't think mine was changed anyway, so just vote for me. I'm okay with that. Do you hear this, Cora? Lux is willing to go instead of you, despite the fact you're clearly off your rocker. Off your rocker? Let's vote for Lux then. Cora, I'm sorry to say this, but you're being very... I don't know. I don't know if I can trust these visions. If Lux, if Lux Averita's visions were, swapped around, that means, oh, you're gonna die. If we vote for Averita then, oh boy. This points out exactly... Better her than me. We could also vote for Bia, What? It's also a valid option. You've been a serious pain this whole time, mastermind or not. No, the one they have to vote for is... Oh boy. If we either remember from the other timelines, then we have to vote for Averita to get rid of Flux and all that. Although... Did they change anything with Gula? Yours was a cow. There's a horse. Nothing really changed with that, but... Snake. It doesn't look like they changed, but... Did Gula's change? Oh gosh, now I'm second guessing myself. I don't think Trista has changed. Us and Mr. B's roles definitely changed. What was it? Averita and Luxuria changed, so... Averidia? No. I understand now. The girl walked towards a random console, bringing a finger to run along the portraits while pensive. Let's stop humoring her. Wait, if you vote for anyone, you'll kill innocent. Well, okay, maybe not for an innocent in the grand scheme of things, but you won't vote for the person you want dead. I know it's been switched now. All eyes were riveted on Cora. The others who had been in a hurry to vote before were now considering her words and given their natural curiosity being piqued. The only one who wasn't interested to hear any of it was Gula. This is clearly a waste of my time. It is not. It is a waste of time for you, yes, but you're the one who's got it all mixed up. You're the one who changed the portraits. If everyone votes for Lux right now, Ava will die. The portraits were changed twice, in fact. I get it now. B's and mine were switched, then whoever did it also switched Lux and Ava's portraits. It's a triangle switching. I don't know who switched the others, but I know 2 portraits that were you're doing, Ola. Ava's and yours. I think we shouldn't tolerate this. We have to vote for Ava. Eva shuddered slightly, uncertain. Are you absolutely sure of what you're saying? I don't especially feel appeased to vote for myself, If you don't, you'll die. Oh no. A sudden resonating hit smashed in the side of Cora's helmet, which sent her to the ground. Her vision faded and all she could hear now was screaming. I did not do any of this! Do you think you can get away with manipulating me? That's not good, Ola. You can't do that kind of thing. Oh gosh, everyone's going crazy. You're taking her word over mine? What is this world coming to? She's had visions, she's seen this and that. She's got no proof at all. Do you think that's fine, huh? Oh, shut up, everyone. Ola, when you get stressed, you start talking strangely. And you're doing that right now, too. Oh boy, yeah.
I'm not.
Yes, you are. I've noticed it already. Maybe those aren't this perceptive, but you're hiding something. Not only that, but I think I know what Core's talking about. I noticed earlier, you're filling with the consoles we talked, weren't you? I didn't put much mind to it before, but now it's clear. And Core knows too. We should vote for Ava. Slowly, and Core's vision was coming back. Next was the jury was checking onto her. Near her was Gula, who was being held by Sir B and Averita. Oh boy. The hit probably came from her. Knocked me right off. The reverberation that happens in the helmet when you get hit is really awful. Right? It's fucking hell! Anyway, bring her to the console and let's vote for Ava. Remember, vote for Ava. No! No, I'm not dying because of this. I have to get out of here! Wait, didn't you switch for Lux, or you saw it with Gula? No, I'm not dying because of this. I have to get out of here! Sorry, Ola. The two girls yanked Gula over to their console, positioned themselves onto their own afterwards. The jury interested Tina and Cora ultimately placed their own console too ready to vote. Oh boy. Let's go for Ava then. The group all voted almost in unison. Gula thrashed and screamed, but she couldn't get out of the hold. By the time the limo was almost up, Gula smashed her fist into the console and ran a portrait. And Cora also put in her vote. We'll go with Ava. The script of the voting contest set onto the Gula symbol. This was to follow, it was her execution. Every shotgun with the victims released her whole, leaving the participants to witness the macabre outcome. So I definitely, I mixed up Luxuria's and Gula's helmets. Well, I guess not helmets, but the symbols and portraits. Oh, I wonder what else I'm missing right now. Oh boy. Let me take a moment for the gunshot to come. It's not like I shot Gula at point-blank range, but in reality, there are no bullet holes in the helmet she wore. Time slowed down. Eventually, everything froze. The cow's tipping point. Hello. Please enunciate your destination. God damn it. I don't know. Some say my name is Pandora. That is a strange name, but greetings nonetheless. So no one has any recollection of Pandora as being a nickname for the mastermind. I believe I am deceased. Are you sure? You don't look dead to me. I cannot move, and it seems as though I am floating. Yet it is also strangely peaceful. I guess you're dead then, but death is fine too. Ah, that may be true, now that you mention it. Also, it wasn't, like, the very beginning, the start, we were also, like, floating around this ethereal plane, so... so basically, everyone's dead or went to this point. Especially since, like, Sir B has, like, remembered details about, like, you know, her family's richness at this point, when we went down Gula, like, down this path with Gula's helmet. Just suddenly appeared. So, must be something with that. It's kind of hard to make out who's talking. It feels like when you talk, I'm talking too. What's the meaning of it all? Maybe you're a part of me now, because I remember you. Is that so? What kind of person was I? You were a duplicitous cow in every sense of the word. But you also were someone who was manipulated too. Maybe it wasn't your fault you ended up that way. That is quite interesting to say the least. You also held a grudge. Before your death, you were carrying that burden. Grudge. You and your father, you were close, weren't you? But they split you up. Oh, her father was the principal? Oh boy. It was a cozy life before his departure. My father. You had everything you wanted, then it all went away. All you had after he was sentenced to serve prison was your own room. You like tinkering with machines, don't you? Yes, that is correct. Tinkering machines. Does that mean, like, was Gula actually the one who made the helmets? Machines here? Those were one of my favorite pastimes. After you lost everything, you took comfort in it. Maybe. You wouldn't understand why people took him away from you. Humans are like machines, aren't they? That is possible. But it didn't help you. Instead, you sought revenge. And that is why you made bombs. Right, I made bombs. I constructed them to blow up the school wings. It's becoming clearer to me now. The school. I destroyed it. You wanted to get the real culprits. Your father did nothing wrong. He was not behind any crime, yet others found evidence of it. Why is that? I'm not certain. Fabricated evidence? And I suppose I no longer care about it. Are you sure? I have answers if you have questions. That is tempting, to finally know the truth. To find closure from the hell. We don't have too much more time, so make up your mind. If that's the case, then perhaps it is better as a mystery. At least tell me, was I wrong? No, someone else definitely forged the evidence. Your father really was innocent. Someone else did the murder. I see. At least that allows me to rest. By the way, I haven't thought about it, but... what was my name? Lucille? Lucille Boys Jolie? What do you believe it was? It has this little chime that says Marco. But I'm a girl, and that is impossible, is it not? Your name isn't Marco, it's Lucille. Yeah, I figured it was you who did the bombs. You were Lucille Boys Julie. The principal, huh. How interesting. Very well. Is it time for my departure? It is. Dust to dust, ashes to ashes. You surrendered your right to live. I'll now carry your memory. Thank you. The room came back into view after that vision, which had taken only but a split moment to play out. Back to our senses now. Let's see the aftermath of the earlier altercation. So we didn't see a vision down this path. Well, and Court hasn't mentioned about the visions down here. And then we killed off Luxurious, suddenly a vision, and now it's the vision that we brought up here. It's strange. Back to our senses now. Let's see the aftermath of the earlier altercation. And Cora, much like everyone else, stood silent as the dead body graced the room. It was perhaps 20 past the hour mark, but Ikora couldn't see it. The girl's sight was completely filled with nothing but the fume remains of what was once Gula, a Cowthene girl. Where her head had been was instead a charred mark, joining the other a little further away, Ira's mark. Her head had already exploded by the time Ikora realized what happened. She so hated having deaths like these. This one, it seems very possible, might have been the traitor. This kind of silence lasted longer. They were down to 5 people. Still far from enough meat cards to escape this place alive. No traces of Nvidia's body either. The group seemed to be at a loss, but the way forward through the puzzle door was now open. Did we get the mastermind? I know, this is the question everyone asks themselves when this happens, right? I don't know. What I think is that we didn't. Lola was manipulated into doing what she was doing. If the portraits were changed in the triangle as we suspected, which voting for Ape approved, then someone else changed 2 other portraits. He grabbed Luxuria by the arm and pulled her against him. Oh god, you have a goddamn gun on you. Next to the click of a revolver adjusting itself against her temple. The small girl froze up. What? And Corsair being Avery all stared, suddenly dumbfounded. This is the mastermind. The other portraits that were switching the triangle were Ava's and Lux. No! It was not me, I'm the mastermind! Oh my gosh, wait, so I guess I was confused, the whole mix-up with Ava, Luxuria, and Goldens? Oh my. No, it's not me, I'm not the mastermind, I'm not Pandora! Listen, the others too, B and Core's portraits were switched too! That's also true. No dare to move as Strategia contemplated the issue under a new angle. Finally, he reached the girl and threw her away, put the gun back in his pocket. Jesus. Fine then. It's not conclusive, but the moment I know who the mastermind is. He would tap his hand against his pocket, making clear the revolver wasn't just for show. Where did you get that anyway? I found it in the room where I explored last. It's sitting with me. I can't trust anyone here, not entirely anyway. Right, that reminds me. I have other things to share. Oh god, are you gonna bring up the whole enneagram of personality? No one dared to confront him now that he had a gun and made it known. Something weird is going on here. Specifically about me. Do you remember what she said after Ira died before we solved the puzzle? Cora thought about it and forced herself to remember the final lines that she said to them back then. Was like how many people she mentioned here? Like 7? Please remember that once you enter a room, you also only 39 minutes before you turn your light to live. Time is of the essence, and I will stop taking it from you for now. From now on, I will only appear to give you each room subject as you enter them. I wish all 7 of you good luck, and
don't forget. I'll see you later. Yeah, 7. Meets at 7. Even if by all accounts we should have been 8. That's actually interesting. Those messages aren't recorded. They're spoken in real time. I can only assume this means that the mastermind among us is someone who's been proficient at retaining their speech without getting flustered. So it was Aura? No, it wasn't. She loses her speech as soon as she gets flustered and embarrassed. Therefore, the cow cannot be the culprit.
But it's all... They're not recorded, but we spoke them entirely through a voice modulator in the helmets? Since we can't hear or see anything around outside our vision helmets. Huh. That's weird to reveal it late. I didn't hear any stuttering, so the lion is also out. So far, we got 2 innocents killed. Well, innocent being Pandora, at least. Really smart. He's probably gonna live to the end. Also, definitely someone I want to get rid of as soon as possible, as much as I can help it. Which means Pandora's either Viddy, who led him to the pretense of being dead since we didn't find a dead body, or they're still alive and among us. Whichever it is, there must be a good reason why the mastermind thought it was more interesting to actually be in our group. I doubt they just up and leave if that's the case, so I'm willing to currently rule out Viddy. I'm not ruling out the possibility of them being in the room somewhere, though. For the purpose of this one, there are cameras in the crossroads, and they could have spied on us, maybe. Anyway, I have more other questions, too. He walked forward, specifically stepping towards Cora until the two of them were talking face to face, saying, "Are you gonna ask us how we knew about the portraits?" How did you know Aura changed the portraits? I had no idea. I just sort of knew. It's like the information reached me from somewhere. I didn't know, and then the next moment it came to me. So like an epiphany then. Maybe. This is looking like a dead sentence so far. Let's hope there's a way out. I think there are 2 ways I might explain what you know. First one is that they can spy on people by using cameras. This will make you the mastermind. However, it doesn't make any sense because you tried to tell us about the change in portraits. You wouldn't give yourself away like that. I don't see the point in switching to the victim of the vote unless it was you. It didn't seem like it was going that way. Not to mention, to begin with, there are no cameras anywhere as far as I can see except for the crossroads. Second way is that you're a psychic. What's with the change in music? I'm a psychic? We're bringing up, what? Me? Good stuff. A psychic as it does exist. Entertaining his false ideas, probably for the best. A psychic. You get to know things we don't by using psychic abilities. There have been rumors of psychic usage before to explain things such as... He's looking for an example. Soon he pointed out his Luxuria. Turn around. Why? What are you gonna show? Turn around or I shoot. Okay! Hey, before he grabbed the revolver, the small girl daisy tone and turned around, exposed in the back of her helmet. The S symbol? Wait, is every single S symbol different? Like with terms of like color in that? But I saw like Avery's helmet lights turned around. It was gray, I thought. On it was a large S, as Nvidia pointed out much earlier. It's a cool S, a symbol which was also engraved to the Me cards. This symbol, for example, has been drawn all over the world in various places. It's impossible that each person who drew this was told on how to do it by someone else. This trend predates the internet, too. There's been a theory that the cool S was a mark of psychic abilities. That one day, someone, somewhere, used their psychic abilities without meaning to and grabbed the knowledge on how to draw a cool S from someone else. Then they followed by drawing it everywhere they could. Someone else did the same, then again, all over the world. That is the explanation, albeit a little hard to imagine being real. Huh. That also might explain this epiphany. Well, as long as it doesn't mean we're gonna get killed off by a gun. Huh. You know what epiphany is? We spoke about it earlier. You mentioned something about talking to dead people, right? You remember the epiphany? Talking to dead people. A moment of clear lucidity, or an idea that comes out of nowhere. For that, I do actually have no explanation whatsoever. Maybe he's right? No, it's still far too loopy to be considered true. Fudge nuggets, why do I talk to dead people? Maybe the moment of extreme stress, you pull information from the world itself. I played games that dealt with things like that. The world is formed what we know, isn't it? It's possible what's happening here is the same in those games. That's gonna be a really tough sell for me, you morons. Yeah. Should be interjecting after usual fashion. What the
fuck is wrong with you? Psychics don't exist. It's just a farce, make-believe. It's not real, and we're wasting time. You remind you that we only got an hour and a half to go. You're right. We have to solve the puzzle. He sat to the side, watching everyone. No one seemed to want to walk away from the consoles. By then, everyone had forgotten Ghoul was not too far away. Oh boy. Am I any closer to figuring out anyone else being suspicious? Everyone, like, think back to everyone who's died we had, like, visions of. Everyone keeps thinking they're Marco. That's weird. Well, take the lead. You got the gun. That's exactly why I can't do it. You'll go, I'll follow. Yeah. I'm not getting shot on the back! You can either go, or I can kill you right now. It's almost much less friendly. The horse was making it clear he was not joking around. Fine, fine. Jesus Christ, and a pogo stick. That's a pleasant image. Serbia walked towards the hallway into Wing A, followed by Averita and Lincora. Luxuria went after them, and finally, Tristia walked to close the line. This thing's not matching up with the countdown either. There are 30 minutes left before the next one is required, but the time it'll take to solve the puzzle in the next rooms. Like, did more time disappear, or like something they're less going down? It's not looking good. It's against someone has to die, or they need to start hurrying up. Now this puzzle. Remember the next doors at the back of the larger area they hung around before, it was clear the panel was ready to receive their inputs in order to solve the puzzle. So think about the flowchart, unless like it continues on expanding over and over again, I can only assume that this one is the one with cool, like, out of the 3 helmets, like where we went with that, we went to the very bottom, like the longest one. So we had the puzzle, the novel, and then the ending, a death. We're never gonna make to a 3rd vote, aren't we? It was clear the panel was ready to receive their inputs in order to solve the puzzle. It took them only a minute to find it next to the set of locked doors on the right. Then Cora solved it. So far, she's been the fastest to do this, and just like Bia said, we don't have a lot of time. Oh wow, we're the best puzzle solver here, apparently. Looking at the panel, the girl ready to solve it as she'd done before. And here we go.